I never thought I'd be the kind of man telling a story like this. The kind of story that starts with a promise and ends with a scar. My name's Samz Carter, 28 years old, born and raised in Austin, Texas. I've always believed in loyalty, in showing up, in giving love the way I wanted to receive it. And for the longest time, I thought Jumki believed in the same thing. God, I was wrong. We met 4 years ago at a college event. She wasn't from Texas. She was this beautiful, confident girl from California with long dark hair and a smile that could melt iron. She was studying graphic design. I was deep into business management. We were nothing alike, but maybe that's what pulled us together. She loved the chaos of life. I loved the structure. She loved parties. I loved quiet nights. But when she looked at me that first night, she said, "You look like the kind of guy who'd never hurt me." And that line stuck with me because I lived every damn day trying to prove it true. For the first 2 years, we were perfect. Or so I thought. We'd fight, sure, but we'd always make up. She'd lay on my chest, trace her fingers over my skin, and whisper things like, "You're my forever, Gems." Forever. What a stupid word when you don't mean it. Things started changing last year. Subtle, at first. She got a new job at a marketing agency. She was excited. New office, new people, new opportunities. I was proud of her. I even helped her shop for new work clothes, told her she looked amazing. But soon, work became her excuse for everything. Late nights, client meetings, phone calls she had to take in private, and that gut feeling, that quiet, cold weight in your stomach, it started to grow inside me. I'd ask, "Babe, you're coming home late a lot lately. Everything okay?" She'd smile, kiss my cheek, and say, "It's just work, Gems. You wouldn't understand how stressful it is." And somehow, I believed her. Until one night, when I didn't. It was a Friday. She said she had a work dinner. Again. Something inside me told me to follow her. I'd never done it before. It felt wrong, almost pathetic. But that night, I just couldn't let it go. I waited a few minutes after she left, then got in my car and tailed hers from a distance. She drove downtown, not to the fancy restaurant she had mentioned, but to a hotel. A freaking hotel. I parked 2 blocks away and just sat there for a moment, heart pounding in my throat, trying to convince myself there was a logical reason. Maybe her team booked a conference room. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe... But then I saw him. A guy walked up to her car as she stepped out. Tall, confident, black jacket, messy hair. He smiled like he owned her. And the way she smiled back, it wasn't a colleague smile. It was intimate, familiar. She touched his arm the way she used to touch mine. My chest went numb. They went inside together. I didn't move. I just sat there in my car, staring at the hotel door, feeling my world split in the middle. I wanted to storm in, scream, demand the truth. But I didn't. I just drove home, gripping the steering wheel so tight my hands went white. That night, she came home around midnight. Her hair was a little messy, lipstick smudged off, but she smiled like nothing had happened. "Hey, baby," she said, slipping her shoes off. "You're still awake?" I couldn't even look at her. "Yeah," I muttered. She leaned down, kissed me on the cheek, and said, "Don't wait up next time, okay?" That's when I knew. She was gone. Maybe not physically, not yet, but emotionally, she'd already left me. Over the next few weeks, I became an investigator in my own relationship. I checked her social media, her texts when she was in the shower, her emails when she left her laptop open. It felt dirty, but I needed to know. And then I found it. An email chain between her and someone named Samz. The first message was innocent enough, a work file, a few jokes. Then came flirty lines, late-night emails. Then hotel bookings. And finally, one message that hit me like a knife. I can't stop thinking about last night. I feel guilty, but when I'm with you, I forget everything else. Even gems. Even gems. I read it over and over until the words blurred. I wanted to throw the laptop across the room, but I just sat there, my hands shaking, my throat tight. How long had this been going on? How many lies had she told me, while smiling like nothing was wrong? I confronted her 2 days later. "Who's Samz?" I asked. Calm, but direct. She froze. That 1 second told me everything. "Just a friend," she said, too quickly. "Don't lie to me." Her eyes flickered, then softened. "It's not what you think."
"Oh, so you didn't meet him at the hotel last Friday," I snapped. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. That silence screamed louder than any confession. She finally admitted it. It had been going on for 3 months. 3 months of sneaking around, of touching another man while telling me she loved me. She cried, begged, said it was a mistake, said she felt lonely. Lonely? I was right there. I worked extra hours to help her pay bills, plan trips, cook dinner. I gave her everything, and she still went looking for more. When she grabbed my hand and whispered, "Please, Gems, don't hate me," I looked into her eyes and realized something awful. I didn't hate her. Not yet. I still loved her. That was the worst part. For days after that, I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. My mind replayed every memory like a cruel movie reel. Her laugh, her touch, her promises. Every single one now meant nothing. She moved out a week later, said she needed space. I told her to take all the space in the world. A week after Jumki left, my apartment felt like a graveyard. Every corner still smelled like her perfume, that floral vanilla scent she used to spray before bed. The coffee mug she always used sat on the counter, untouched. Even the damn throw blanket on the couch reminded me of movie nights we used to have. Funny how the smallest things can haunt you harder than the biggest betrayals. At first, I tried to numb myself, worked extra shifts, hit the gym until my muscles screamed, even deleted her number. But no matter how much I tried to move on, Sam's name kept echoing in my head. Who was this guy? How did she fall for him so easily? And why did it feel like there was more to him than just another random fling? It started with a message. One night I was sitting in my car outside a 24-hour diner just scrolling through my phone when a notification popped up on Instagram. A new message request from @Samz.writer. I froze. The profile picture was blurry, but it was him. The same guy I saw with Jumki outside that hotel. I hesitated for a long moment before opening it. "Samz, you probably hate me, bro. I get it. But we need to talk." My stomach tightened. Talk? What could he possibly have to say that I'd ever want to hear? "Gems, there's nothing to talk about. You destroyed my relationship." "Samz, you think you know the whole story. You don't." I almost laughed. What story could justify cheating? But curiosity, that poisonous human weakness, made me reply. "Gems, then tell me." "Samz, not here. Meet me tomorrow night, 9 p.m., near the old gas station on 5th. I stared at that message for minutes, debating. It screamed trouble. But the way he said it, like there was something I needed to know, kept me from deleting it. Against every bit of logic in me, I showed up. The next night, the air was cold, heavy with Texas dust and diesel fumes. The gas station was half abandoned, the kind of place no one visits after dark. I parked under the flickering light and waited. At 9:10, a black motorcycle pulled up. Samz got off, removed his helmet, and walked toward me with that same confidence I remembered. Except this time, there was something darker in his eyes. Didn't think you'd actually come, he said. Make it quick, I replied. He looked over me, smirked slightly. You really don't know, do you? Know what? He stepped closer. I didn't chase Jumki. She came to me first. I clenched my fists. That's supposed to make me feel better? He shook his head. You think I'm proud of this? She told me things, man. Things about you, about your past. My past, I frowned. What the hell are you talking about? Samz's gaze hardened. She said you weren't the man you pretend to be, that you had secrets, that she couldn't trust you. I felt my chest tighten. I've never lied to her, never cheated, never hurt her. Whatever she told you was a damn lie. Maybe. But that's not the worst part. He took out his phone, scrolled for a second, and then held it up. It was a photo. Jumki and him, taken months before I even knew about the affair. But in the background, blurred but unmistakable, was me. It was a restaurant I'd taken her to once for dinner. They'd been there the same night. They'd been seeing each other longer than I thought. My knees felt weak. I asked him my moment was weak. I asked him what the Jumki was playing me. He confirmed it. Jumki was playing both of us. She told him she loved me and said she was done with me. And then she asked him for money, told him her rent was behind, that she needed help getting away from me. She asked him for money. He nodded and said she sent a few thousand, but then he found out she never left me. She told him she had to pretend for a while longer. And just a month later, she ghosted him. So basically, she had planned to play both of us. She used me for stability and him for thrills. And when she got what she wanted, she ran. After hearing what Sam said, I went through everything. My old messages with Jumki, the photos, the gifts I'd bought her. I realized how one-sided everything had been, that she always took and never gave. But I wasn't satisfied with just knowing she had played me. I needed proof. So I dug deeper. I logged into our shared cloud storage, something she'd probably forgotten about. And there it was, a folder hidden under design projects. Inside were screenshots, messages between her and another man. Not me, not Samz, someone else. The texts were flirtatious, intimate. But what caught my eye was one message that made my blood run cold.
Don't worry, I'm almost done with both of them. Once I transfer the money, I'll come see you. Both of them. She meant me and Samz. That's when I realized Jumki wasn't just unfaithful, she was running some kind of scam. The next morning, I called Samz. We need to find her, I said. Together. He hesitated. You sure about that? We both got burned. I'm sure, I said. If she used us both, she'll do it again. And I'm not letting her ruin someone else's life. We started tracking her movements, credit card records, her social media logins, anything we could find. Samz turned out to be surprisingly resourceful. He used to work in IT security, so he had the tools. A week later, he called me at midnight. Got her. She was in New Orleans. We drove there 2 days later. The city was alive. Jazz music, neon lights, laughter in the air, but all I felt was rage. We found her staying at a boutique hotel under a fake name. I remember standing outside her room, heart pounding, palms sweating, every muscle tense. Samz looked at me and said, "You sure you want to do this?" "I have to," I said. I knocked on the door. After a moment, it opened, and there she was, Jumki. Her eyes widened the second she saw me. Then they flicked to Samz behind me, and all the color drained from her face. "Gems," she whispered, "what are you doing here?" "I should ask you the same," I said coldly. She looked between us, her voice trembling. "You don't understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly," I snapped. "You lied. You cheated. You used us both." Her lips quivered, but her eyes stayed sharp, calculating. "I did what I had to do," she said quietly. "You think love pays bills? You think loyalty keeps you alive?" Sam stepped forward. "You played with us, Jumki. For what? Money?" She shrugged. "Money, power, freedom. Call it whatever you want. I never promised forever." My chest tightened. "You said you loved me." She looked at me then,
really looked and whispered, "I did, just not enough." That single line broke me more than all her lies combined. Before I could say anything, she turned, grabbed her purse, and said, "You got your closure. Now let me live my life." But as she walked away, something inside me snapped. I wasn't done, neither was Samz. Because there was still something missing, something she hadn't told us, where the money went. And when we finally discovered the truth, it wasn't just about betrayal. It was about revenge. The night after confronting Jumki, I didn't sleep a second. Her words kept echoing in my head. "You think love pays bills? You think loyalty keeps you alive?" She said it so calmly, like betrayal was just another business decision. When I met Samz for coffee the next morning, we were both silent for a while. The anger had faded, replaced by something heavier, a need to understand. "Why would she do this?" I finally asked. Samz stirred his drink. "Because people like her don't see love. They see opportunity." He looked up. "But I think there's more to it. The way she talked last night, she's hiding something." I nodded slowly. "Then we find out what." We spent the next few days digging through everything we could. Old messages, shared accounts, credit reports, anything that had her name attached. Then Samz found something. A new bank account under a fake ID opened 3 months before she disappeared. The transactions were strange. Money came in from multiple people in small chunks every week. "Looks like she's been collecting from more than just us," Samz said, his tone sharp. "How many?" I asked. "At least 5 different names." My stomach twisted. She's running a pattern. It hit me then. Jumki wasn't just cheating, she was conning men, one after another. But what was the endgame? 2 nights later, Samz called again. "You might want to see this," he said. He sent me a photo. It was Jumki at a charity gala in New Orleans, dressed in an elegant black dress, smiling next to a middle-aged man in a suit. The caption read, "Proud to have my amazing partner beside me, Samuel Quinn, CEO of Quinn Holdings." I blinked. "She's with another Sam." Sam sighed. "Apparently. And that's not just another guy, that's a millionaire." A wave of nausea hit me. She traded both of us, me and Samz, for someone richer. But how? We just saw her in that cheap hotel room 2 nights ago. "Maybe she planned this the whole time," Sam said quietly. "She used us to build up her act. Confidence, money, clothes, then leveled up." That word, leveled up, made me sick. The next morning, we drove to the gala venue, hoping someone could tell us more. Samz used his IT connections to trace the event's guest list. Sure enough, Julianne Miles was listed, Jumki's new alias. We waited outside the venue, watching from the car. Around 8 p.m., a sleek black Mercedes pulled up, and there she was. Elegant, confident, unrecognizable, except for those eyes. Jumki walked beside Samuel Quinn like she owned the world. I felt my jaw tighten. That's her. Samz leaned forward. She's not just dating him, she's infiltrating his life. We followed them from a distance when the gala ended. They drove to an upscale condo downtown. Lights turned on inside the penthouse suite. She was in. Samz looked at me. "You really want to keep going with this?" "I need to know how far she'll go," I said. Over the next week, we watched her closely. She'd become someone else entirely. Expensive clothes, fake social media accounts, polished manners. She'd built a new identity. But then, something odd happened. She started visiting a small clinic every few days, alone, always around lunchtime. At first, I thought it was cosmetic, but one night, after she left, Samz hacked into the clinic's appointment system. The record said, patient name, Julianne Miles, treatment type, psychological evaluation and therapy, trauma and manipulative behavior recovery. I frowned. She's in therapy? Samz looked stunned. Or she's pretending to be. We dug deeper, and what we found next changed everything. The therapist, Dr. Elaine Porter, had posted a case study on her blog, anonymously of course, about a female patient who manipulates men emotionally and financially to feel control after years of abuse. The story matched Jumki's timeline almost perfectly. My chest felt heavy. Was she doing all this because she'd been hurt? I sat back, staring out the car window. For the first time, anger wasn't the only thing I felt. There was pity, confusion, sadness. Maybe she was broken before she met us, I said quietly. Samz nodded slowly. Yeah, but that doesn't make what she did right. We decided to confront her again, but this time, differently. No shouting, no revenge, just the truth. So one evening, I called her from the new number. She answered, her voice calm and unfamiliar. Julianne Miles, she said. Nice name, I replied softly. But I liked Jumki better. There was silence on the line. Gems, how did you get this number, she whispered. I saw you at the gala, I said softly. With him, she sighed. Then you saw I'm doing better. Please don't ruin this for me. I don't want to ruin it. I just want to understand it. Her voice cracked slightly. There's nothing to understand. I needed a new life. Was I just a step toward that? I asked. There was a long pause. Then she said, You were a safe place? Until you weren't. My throat tightened. What does that mean? She hesitated. Then for the first time, she sounded truly vulnerable. I wasn't lying about being scared, Gems. I grew up around men who controlled everything. My father, my first boyfriend, all of them. You were kind, but you still had rules, expectations. I just needed power. For once. By using people? By surviving, she said softly. And maybe I went too far, but when you've been powerless your whole life, you'll do anything to never feel that way again. For a moment, I didn't know what to say. Finally, I whispered, So this is who you are now? A woman who lies, cheats, manipulates, just to feel powerful? She was silent for a long time. Then she said, I don't know who I am anymore. The line went dead. I sat there in silence for what felt like hours. Samz walked over, reading my expression. What did she say? Enough, I muttered. She's lost. Maybe she's trying to heal in her own twisted way. He sighed. So, what now? I looked out at the night sky. Now? We stop chasing her. Let her bury herself in her lies. But I won't let her walk away clean. Samz raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? I smiled faintly. You're good with tech, right? Let's make sure her new rich boyfriend knows exactly who she's dating. The next week, Samz worked his magic. He gathered screenshots, voice notes, old messages, everything Jumki had ever said to both of us. He compiled it all into one secure folder, linked to a private email. Then we sent it to Samuel Quinn with a single line. Before you invest your heart, know who you're with. We never heard back from him. But 2 weeks later, Jumki's social accounts disappeared. Her photos vanished from the company website, and a new headline appeared online. Businessman ends engagement after fraud allegations. I stared at the article in silence. It was over. A month later, I got a letter. No return address, no name, just a plain envelope. Inside was a note written in her handwriting. Gems, you were the only one who ever really saw me. I'm sorry I ruined that. Maybe in another life, I'd have been the woman you thought I was. J. I folded it slowly, then looked at Samz. She's gone, I said quietly. He nodded, and maybe that's for the best. As we walked out of the cafe, I realized something. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing peace over poison. And in that moment, after months of anger, obsession, and heartbreak, I finally felt free. The night after I caught Jumki at that bar was the longest night of my life. Every minute felt like a small eternity. Every tick of the clock echoed like a heartbeat I no longer trusted. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't think straight. The image of her with that guy, his hand on her thigh, her laughter, her hair falling over her face, kept replaying in my head like a cruel movie I couldn't stop watching. But this time, I wasn't just angry. I was hollow. When someone you love breaks your heart, the pain doesn't hit all at once. It's like waves, crashing over you again and again until you can't breathe anymore. The unexpected call. At 10:47 p.m., my phone lit up. Jumki. I stared at her name. For a long time. My thumb hovered over the answer button. Part of me wanted to scream at her. The other part, God help me, still wanted to hear her voice. Finally, I answered. Samz, her voice was trembling. Please don't hang up. I didn't say a word. I know you saw me, she whispered, and I know what it looked like, but please, I need to explain. I laughed bitterly. Explain? You were kissing him, Jumki. I think I got the message. I didn't sleep with him, she blurted out. It wasn't like that. My hands clenched into fists. Don't lie to me. I'm not lying, she cried. I was drunk. He kissed me first. I pushed him away right after. Stop, I snapped. Just stop lying to make yourself feel better. There was silence, only the sound of her sobbing. I wanted to hang up. I should have, but I couldn't, because no matter how much I hated her, I still loved her. And that's the curse of being the loyal one. You bleed for someone who never would have done the same for you. The truth comes out. The next day, she came to my apartment. When I opened the door, I barely recognized her. Her hair was a mess, eyes red, face pale. She looked like she hadn't slept either. Can we talk? She whispered.
I didn't answer. I just stepped aside. She sat on the couch, clutching her bag like it could protect her from what was coming. Samz, she said softly, I'm sorry for what happened. But please, I need to tell you everything. I crossed my arms. Then talk. She took a shaky breath. The guy you saw, his name is Ryan. We work together. He's been flirting with me for months. I ignored it, but that night, after work, we went to a bar with the team. I was drinking too much. He got close. Too close. And I didn't stop him soon enough. So it's my fault you didn't stop him? I said sharply. No, it's my fault. All of it. I was stupid, reckless. I swear it meant nothing. Her voice cracked on that last word. Nothing? I repeated. Then why were you smiling at him like he was your world? She started crying again. Because for a second, I forgot how much I could lose. I stared at her, speechless. That line, it hurt more than the betrayal itself. She forgot me, forgot us. The breaking point. We argued for hours. Every word felt like a wound. Every sentence tore something inside me. She kept saying, I love you, Samz. Please believe me. But love shouldn't need begging. Love should feel safe, real. And hers didn't anymore. When I told her to leave, she hesitated. I'll go, she whispered. But I'll never stop trying to make it right. I didn't stop her, didn't chase her, didn't even look back when she closed the door. Because sometimes silence says everything words can't. A message from Ryan. A week later, I got a DM on Instagram. From him, Ryan. The same guy I saw with Jumki. Hey man, I just wanted to say sorry for what happened. I didn't know she was serious with someone. She told me you guys were on a break. My stomach twisted. A break? We were never on a break. I scrolled further. He'd attached screenshots, messages between Jumki and Ryan. Jumki. He doesn't understand me anymore. Ryan. Then why stay? Jumki. I don't know. Maybe I'm scared to be alone. That message, dated 3 weeks before the night at the bar, crushed me completely. So it wasn't a drunken mistake. It wasn't a one-time thing. It was emotional cheating. The kind that starts quietly, like a secret she thought I'd never find out. The night of confession. I confronted her again. This time, there were no tears. Just truth. She admitted everything. The flirting, the messages, the lies. She said she never slept with him. Maybe that was true, maybe not. At that point, it didn't matter anymore. Because the trust was already dead. I loved you, I said quietly. I would have given you everything. But you gave your attention to someone else. She covered her face, crying uncontrollably.
I'm sorry, Samz. I ruined everything. Yeah, I whispered. You did. I walked away before she could say another word. The aftermath. That night, I packed up every memory we had. The pictures, the notes, the gifts, and put them in a box. Then I drove out to the beach and threw it all into the ocean and watched the waves swallow what used to be my world. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel freeing. It just felt empty. But maybe that's what healing starts as. Emptiness. Because before you can fill your heart again, you have to clear out the pieces that broke you. Ending scene. Emotional fade out. I sat in my car until sunrise, watching the light slowly push away the dark. Somewhere out there, Jumki is probably crying too. Maybe she really regretted it. Maybe she didn't. But I knew one thing for sure. I'd never be the same again. The man who loved too hard was gone. And in his place stood someone who finally learned that love without loyalty is just an illusion. They say heartbreak changes a man in ways even time can't fully fix. 3 months had passed since I last saw Jumki. 3 months of silence, of late-night thoughts, of pretending I was okay. The truth? I wasn't. Some days I'd wake up and almost text her, out of habit, out of loneliness, out of that tiny, stubborn part of me that still remembered her laugh. Other days I hated her so much that I wished I could erase every trace of her from my mind. But love doesn't vanish with anger. It hides behind it. And that's what scared me the most, that part of me still cared. When she came back, it was a rainy Thursday evening. I was sitting by the cafe window, laptop open, pretending to work, but just staring at the storm outside. And then I heard a voice. Soft. Familiar. Samz? I froze. When I turned, she was standing there. Jumki. Her hair a little shorter, eyes still the same, but there was something different. Something tired. Something human. She smiled nervously. Can I sit? I wanted to say no, but my heart, the fool that it was, betrayed me again. Yeah, I said quietly. She sat across from me and, for a moment, neither of us spoke. It was like looking at a ghost you once loved. The apology. I know you don't want to see me, but I couldn't live without saying this face to face. I nodded silently. She took a deep breath. I hurt you more than I can ever undo. I lied. I broke your trust. I let someone else into a space that was only meant for you. Her tears welled in her eyes. I wake up every day wishing I could go back and fix it. I lost the best thing that ever happened to me. Her words cut deep. Not because they were new, but because I could tell she meant them this time. Why now, Jumki? I asked quietly. Why come back after all this time? Because I've realized something, she whispered. You don't find a love like yours twice. I've dated others since you left, but it's not the same. No one knew me like you did. No one cared like you did. She reached out her hand across the table. Can we try again? Just once?